Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GL365.com. Got an absolutely great song from the Deftones today. We'll learn how to do Entombed. So this one's a little tricky. We got Stephen Carpenter doing this kind of tapping thing throughout pretty much the whole track. He's using an 8-string guitar in standard tuning, but he never really kind of ventures down to using those 7th or 8th strings. So you can do it on a standard tuned guitar. So that's what I'm doing here. This is going to be a standard tuned 6-string, and we'll be able to do all the tapping stuff that Stephen's doing throughout the song. A little bit bigger of an issue is the rhythm guitar parts of this that Chino is playing. That's kind of a whacked out tuning, so I'll be switching the guitars for that. So I'm going to show all of Stephen's parts through the song first, just to keep it easier, so we don't have to go back and forth between guitars. And then we're going to start the song over and do all of Chino's rhythm guitar parts. That guitar is in a different tuning, where most of the strings are tuned down a whole step, except for the bottom string, which is tuned down a tritone. It's odd. It's an odd tuning. We'll get to that when we get there. This is standard tuning though here, and we're going to start the lesson there. We'll talk about the tuning of the other guitar when we grab that guitar. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell. It really helps kind of increase the engagement. The more people actually watch my videos and click like and comment on them and stuff, just engage with the videos, and the longer you watch them too, it really helps YouTube push it to more people. So just having a bunch of subscribers doesn't mean YouTube sends it to them. In fact, they send it to less than 1% of them. So I need you guys to increase the engagement so we get new subscribers, that people will actually watch the videos. Anyway, and if you truly want to support what I do here on YouTube, the number one way that keeps a roof over my head is the link in the description. That's to my Guitar Academy. You get the biggest discount. This is kind of a YouTube-only link that you have in the description there. You will only see that price on the site if you go from that link. If you go to the site, just normally at the Academy, you won't see it there. So this will give you a 40% off my annual rate. So it's a huge discount, and you get that rate for life. It'll never go up. And if you've never had an account, free 7-day trial. So you'll get full access to all my courses, everything. Personalized support from me, access to live streams every weekend. So a lot of fun. So let's jump into the track. We're going to start here, like I said, with Stephen's part. Now, this is a pretty repetitive thing when it's coming down, like the technique that he's using. But he's changing the melody notes that he's tapping throughout the song, depending on what section of the song is. So you might want to write these out. I would love to write out the tap for you guys, but it's, I know a lot of people do it, but it's actually against, copyright laws to do that. So, but no, there's nothing against you following along, tapping it out yourself so you can memorize it easier. It actually helps you memorize it quicker if you tap it yourself, but it should be pretty easy to follow along. All right, well, let's start with this. The first one this is kind of the main tapping thing, the melody that happens. So whenever there's kind of going on instrumentally. So in the intro of the song, he comes in with this. All right, so no matter what's going on in the tapping, we're always going to start everything doing a hammer-on from nowhere at the 12th fret on the A string, and then hammering on to the 13th fret above that. So a little half-step hammer-on. And then, so it's a kind of 3-note pattern. The third note is always a tap note, and that's what's going to be changing. So the tap note is going to be over here first at the 15th fret on the D string. So it is. And then we're going to start moving that up, but this is always going to stay the same. So the first 2 notes of that 3-note pattern always stays the same. So then we're going to repeat this, and then next tap note will be the 17th on the D, and then up to 19 on the D. So it is. And then we're going to go over, start the same 2 notes. We're going to now tap the 17th fret on the G string, and then 19. You kind of hold that for a second. So and then just repeat that. So that's what you're hearing when he first comes in. Now, when the verse starts, once again, we're going to be doing the same type of thing. The melody is going to slightly change. He's usually starting with 15, 17, 19 on the D string, but then he'll change the notes on the G string here. So the verse, so once Chino comes in with the verse, it looks like this. It's going to be basically played 2 times. So that's going to be more the same, kind of 15, 17, 19, and then 17, 19 on the G. Then we're going to repeat it again, except now the melody notes on the G string the second time around in the verse is going to be 17, then down to 15 instead of going up to 19. So it is. All right, so all together so far? Now, that's the verse. You're going to repeat that one more time. So 2 times total, so I'll do it right here. Then we get to the pre-chorus, where it's going, I consider that like kind of the pre-chorus. When we get to Chino's part, there's no difference between what he's playing between the verse and the pre-chorus, but there is a difference from what Stephen's doing. So let me show you what he's doing real quick. So here we go. So a little bit, it's kind of changing it up a little bit, building to the chorus. The chorus is really cool what he's doing in the chorus. But we're going to start here with the same melody. That's why I say sometimes it's good to just kind of write out the tapped notes or something, so you kind of memorize the melody that way. But we basically have 15, 17, 19 on the D string, and then we go 15, 17 on the G. So that's the first time through the pre-chorus. And then we're gonna repeat, but instead of going 15, 17 on the G, it's gonna be 17, 15. So you reverse those two. So I'll play them both together. So we have 15, 17, 17, 15. All right? Then you repeat again, like you're starting over, with the 15, 17, and then the 4th time, we're going to go up to Old Reliable that we were doing in the intro. 17, 19 on the G. So one more time for the pre-chorus. And then we get to the chorus, all right, so things really pick up here, and he's going to be continuing this kind of 2-3 thing going that starts E1, so it's still the same 3-note pattern, but the notes are going to be a little higher up here. So the verse is a little bit more intricate than the other parts, so here it goes. Here's the melody for that. All right, so that kind of moves around a little bit. So we're going to start still. Same thing that starts everything. Except now the tap notes are way up here on the G string, 22nd fret to 19th fret. You're going to be going back and forth between those two. So it looks like this. 22, 19. Then it ends there on the 22. And then you're going to repeat again, but this time starting on 19 and going back and forth, so you're going to end on 19. So it's kind of like you're just kind of reversing what we just did. So we start with 22 first. Now start with 19. See, there's a little pause. Here, then. Here. Then, so that's kind of this little first half of the chorus. That's the line, so you repeat that twice. So we have this. Repeat. All right, and now we go to the next little part. So that is now going to be same starting notes, but tapping the 23rd fret there on the B string. Then down to that 22, 19, 22, 19 on the G. So it's kind of the same we were doing before, but you start out with that 23 fret. So beat. All right, and then from there it goes back to that main riff. That we kind of started everything, and then goes through the same verse that we've already covered, the same pre-chorus, and then the same chorus, except in the second chorus, this little part, instead of just being done twice, it's done 4 times. So that's the only kind of difference there. All right, so coming out of that second chorus, we have that main riff played kind of once. There's kind of a little breakdown, a little bass guitar lick that happens in the song, but before that we had this. It kind of pauses there and does that little kind of Chino and the bass player doing this little thing. But we'll cover that in a little bit. Now we get to verse 3. So verse 3 is slightly different than the first 2 verses, so we're going to have to cover it separately, just like the third chorus is also a little bit more fleshed out and more extended, so we're going to have to take a look at that one by itself too. But the third verse looks like this. So Stephen's kind of creating all these little ways of kind of changing the notes that are happening on that, especially on the G string there. So it's pretty short. It's a shorter verse. The third verse is shorter than the other ones, and there's no pre-chorus. It goes. Actually, it's the same length verse. There's just no pre-chorus. It goes straight to the chorus. So it looks like this. So we have that same 15, 17, 19 on the D, and then that 17, 19 on the G. So that's the first time through there in verse 3. The second time through, the melody notes on the G string are going to be 17, 15. So it looks like this. All right, and then we're going to go through the same thing again, except now the melody notes on the G string will be 15, 17. And then we're going to end it with Old Reliable with the melody notes at 17, 19. So all together for verse 3, it looks like this. All right, no, it can be a lot of melody notes, so it's good to just kind of practice enough, know the song really well and the melody, and you'll be good to go. All right, then we get to chorus 3, which is a little bit extended a little bit. So let me play through it for you real quick. It looks like this. All right, so that's half of it, and it just kind of repeats all of that again. So it's a lot longer chorus there. So it kind of starts with the same thing we did in the previous chorus. Repeat that. And then it goes to this kind of slightly different version of this, the second half of the chorus, which is, it's going to be. So it kind of combines that main riff with it. So what's going on there? So it's that tap at 23 on the B string, and then 22 on the G, 19, 22, 19, and then that main riff that we've done before. 15, 17, 19, 17, 19 on the G. So like this. Repeat. Then you repeat that entire chorus right there that we've already done over again. So, time considerations, we'll just cut that. So it's just basically all that I just did for the chorus, which is extended already, double that. All right, so then you basically get to, coming out of that chorus, we have Stephen doing this the main riff again for a while. Again, kind of getting to the outro section of the song. He's just repeating that over and over again. But then at the 4-minute and 32-second mark, that's when the bass player really kind of takes over the harmony. And you see that it's kind of moved down harmonically. And right there is when Stephen mixes up the melody a little bit, goes away from the main melody. So this is the very end of the song. The 4-minute and 32-second mark looks like this. So once again, just kind of more of the same. So we're always kind of doing 15, 17, 19 on the D. It's the notes on the G string that are going to kind of vary a little bit. So we go 15, 17, 19 on D, and then the notes on the G string the first time through, after the 432 mark, 15, 17 on the G. The next time through, we're going to reverse that and go 17, 15. So we have this together. And then we're going to go back to old reliable here. Just 17, 19 on the G. And then the fourth time through is going to be 17, 15 on the G. And then he's going to end the song. He kind of does he slows this one down. So there's it quickly slows down. So he kind of does this at the very end. He goes back to the same the same main riff, which is 17, 19 on the G, but he goes. Maybe not that slow. So really slow it down, but it's the same familiar pattern. All right, so all together for the outro section. It's basically the riff played 5 times with different melodies there. So it looks like this. And that is it for Stephen's complete tapping for 5 minutes. We're now going to look at Chino's guitar lines, a little bit more simple stuff here, but I'm going to have to change guitars because it's a drastically different tuning. So I'll see you in a second. All right, we are back here. We are ready to tackle Chino's guitar parts. So like I said, this is a very strange tuning. I've never played in this guitar tuning, so quite a few decades into my guitar playing career here, about 4 decades of playing guitar, I have never experienced this tuning. All right, so what it is, it's mostly D standards, and that's normal, right? So mostly just every string tuned down a whole step, I'm sorry. So the E down to D, the B down to an A, the G down to an F, D down to a C, and the A string down to a G. but the low E string is tuned down to a B flat. So it's tuned down to tritone, or your tuner might actually read it as A sharp, B flat, same note. All right, but now what this enables him to do is play octaves just across 2 strings, which we'll get to in a second on a much better guitar tone than that for that part. But so it's very, very easy to kind of play octaves. And plus there's additional things that you can do with it too, but I think that's the main reason that they're doing it. We also can put that in the base of the root of the chord we're going to be doing throughout the song. So anyway, so we're going to start after Stephen's played his tapping line I think 4 times. Then we start seeing the so that's just in the intro. So what's going on? That's a C major 7th chord. And I'm going to call it a C major 7th chord because that's what it looks like I'm playing. Obviously, we're in a completely different tuning, so it's obviously a B flat major 7th, but I'm just going to call it like it's just a standard tuning just to make things easy. So all you need to do is play the 3rd fret there on the A string, the 4th fret there on the, 5th fret on the D, 4th fret there on the G, and then open B, open high E string. Just gonna strum that a couple times. And I'll have a little bit of slight distortion on this one, not a really heavy distortion tone. I got a little chorus pedal on there too, so some delays and some reverbs and a compressor. Anyway, sounds nothing like the album anyway. Anyway, so then when the vocals come in, what he does is he jumps up here and basically does this. It's harder than Eruption. Well, Chino is one of the most amazing singers in the world, so I'm glad he doesn't try to overwhelm himself with complex guitar parts, because that's what we're here to listen to is his vocals. But this actually fits the song really well. So you got the bass player's doing some cool stuff. You got Stephen doing the tapping thing, and then you got him doing that, just kind of adds some texture to it. So it's pretty cool. And all it is the 19th fret there on the A string, and then the 16th fret there on the G. So he does that through the verse and pre-chorus. So, Stephen's part slightly changed, and we covered that the first half of the video. But Chino's same thing. So through both the verse and pre-chorus. And then we have our first instance of this chorus. So I'm going to beef up the guitar tone a little bit, and we have this. All right, so that's the first chorus, a little bit shorter than the other ones. So we basically start here. This is where, because of this tuning, we can do an octave just like this. So it's the 7th fret on the low E, and then the 10th fret there on the A. So you don't have to worry about muting like things in between. No, it's a lot easier. So we have 7 and 10, and then move up 2 frets and hit that. So it's 9 and 12. And then we go back to that C major 7th chord. Repeat. Now here, you can kind of like put that in the bass. I don't think he does, I think the bass player is doing it, but so you gotta do that in the chorus if you want. Sounds cool. He might be doing it. And then from there, we are going to change it up a little bit. So on the third repeat, we're gonna go to the, start with the 9 and 12. So that 9th on the low E and the 12th on the A. Jump there first, then go to that C major 7, and then move it up to, you're basically gonna move this up to the 8th fret. You can still have the open B and open high E in there. So you're gonna have major treble 11 chord. So, all right, and then it kind of ends. So the first time it's just that short. So all together for the chorus, the first chorus. All right, so then it goes through the to the intro again. So it's just like kind of strumming those C major 7 chords there, and then into the exact same verse where he's doing the verse and pre-chorus there, same 2 notes there, and then we get to the second chorus. There's a slight difference here. Let's see if we can pick it up. So that's basically just that ending part there that we did before. That third time through, when the first time in the chorus, we did that third time through, we did from the 9th fret to the C up to the F. You should repeat that again. So that's played twice instead of just once. So that second chorus is just slightly longer, just to kind of, they play those last 3 chords over one more time. All right, then we get back into the same thing with the same kind of, should switch the guitar tone here, but it's the same thing that we do in the intro, the same kind of C major 7 chords. There's a little bass fill in there. If you want to do it, if you want to do that fill, it's on bass. So for funsies, if you want to do that, so it's kind of just. So I'm just hammering on 9 to 11 on the, sounds like there's got an octave pedal on it, but you basically play this hammer 9 to 11 on the low E string, and then back to 9, then 7, slide down, and then that C major 7 chord. So that's kind of like little bridge section, I guess, in the song. Then they go back to the chorus again. So this chorus played the same way. It's just half as it's the same length. Actually, I talked about this in the video. There's no pre-chorus though, so it just plays that riff, and then jumps straight to the chorus. Now, just like in Stephen's part, where it was kind of that third chorus was like really a lot longer and extended. So this one is as well. So let me play what Chino's doing here. So it looks like this. Chorus number 3. We're gonna do that part in a second. So it kind of transitions there. So this chorus, so it's basically like the second chorus first. So it's, and and then the 2 times of doing. So just like the second chorus, all the way up. So I play chorus number 2 first. All right, and then it's pretty much like he starts repeating everything, the whole chorus again. So he basically plays the first chorus with that 9/12 C and the F just done once. So it's basically chorus number 2 followed by chorus number 1. Then 2 more chords. It's just going to be he looks like he's going to be starting the whole chorus over again, but he doesn't. So he just goes that 7 and 10 up to 9 and 12, and then we get to this outro. It just jumps straight to the outro section. All right, so the outro section, this part looks like this. All right, so some slight differences as you go through that. It's basically the same riff repeated 8 times, but he does some slight variations. So the first 4 times are the same. So we start with just this C power chord. So it's the 3rd fret on the A, 5th fret on the D. Hit that 3 times, then down to the down a fret, to the 2nd fret, and then you come back and hit the C power chord again, and then turn it into that C major 7 chord. So it looks like this. So you do that 4 times. Now the 5th and 6th time, it's going to be the same chords, slightly different rhythm. So instead of going, at the end it goes, so there's a little pause between those 2 last chords. So that's just the 5th and the 6th time of playing it. Then the last 2 times, the 7th and 8th time, it goes back to the rhythm we were doing the first 4 times, except it just keeps it all power chords. Doesn't do that C major 7th. It goes. All right, and then at that 4-minute and 32-second mark, which is the very end of the song here, the harmony's changing. It's not being done by the guitar, it's being done by the bass. So the bass is what's moving that bass line around and changing the harmony. And all Chino is doing above that is he's kind of picking across. So you hold that C major 7th chord, right? It's kind of just that 3rd fret there on the A, 5th on the D, 4th on the G, open B, open high E. So you kind of strum it and kind of bend, especially that note on the G string, against that kind of, creating some dissonance. So you kind of hold the chord, kind of strumming it some. And kind of bring it down to a little bit. Nothing like. So that's what's going on there. That harmony that you hear shifting is being done on the bass and not on the guitar. And you got Stephen still doing his tapping thing. So anyway, that is it for Entombed. A little bit intricate song, got some crazy tuning. You need 2 guitar players. You need one's really to sacrifice his guitar in this tuning. But if you can, it's a really fantastic song, such a unique, original song as well. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.